College football is here and I've got 3 picks for you in this video. I'm Professor MJ, a 15-year university statistics teacher from Canada. Welcome to the best sports betting show on YouTube, where my #1 goal is to grow your bankroll. This is definitely one of the best times of the year. Seemingly every team in the nation is brimming with confidence and hoping this year is their year. Sad truth is, come Sunday morning, most teams will be brought back to reality and be scuffling to figure out what's in store for them this season. Week 1 is always difficult. College teams are very hard to judge before you've actually seen them play a single game. So you have to be judicious in how you choose your Week 1 games. I've got a few I'd like to share today, including one premium play for this weekend's slate of games. Let's get started. I think one thing we learned during the debacle in Dublin is that the new running clock and the helmet communicators are going to cause some new chaos. During FSU and Georgia Tech, the teams only possessed the ball 7 times each. Both teams struggled getting plays in timely. The new headset communicators allow the coaches to talk to the quarterback until 15 seconds remain on the play clock. That allows for more instructions and, more likely for college quarterbacks, more instructions on what not to do. I think this will ultimately result in less turnovers, less possessions, and generally slower play. So I have my antenna up for games that are good candidates for unders. The bookies will eventually catch up to this, so we have to strike early on these values. Pick number 1 concerns the Western Michigan versus Wisconsin game that will take place Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm on the under 57. I like it all the way down to the key number of 55. I don't expect fireworks in the Cheese State this weekend. Apart from the fact that Wisconsin is notoriously a running team, they are breaking in a new QB, Tyler Van Dyke, as well as new running backs. So I expect them to play slowly. I don't particularly like Wisconsin's chances this year. Neither does Vegas, setting their win total at 6.5. While I am sure they penciled this game in as a win for the Badgers, I just don't see them lighting up the scoreboard. There's a lot of questions on which Van Dyke will we see. 2001 ACC's Rookie of the Year or last year's up-and-down turnover machine. Western Michigan is returning 7 starters from last year on defense, so that will offer some cohesion that might slow the Wisconsin offense down even more. The Broncos also have a returning pair of running backs and QB Hayden Wolf at the helm, but he is inconsistent at best. I don't see the Broncos getting many good opportunities. Look for Wolf to have his hands over his ears trying to hear the coach in the loud and fun Camp Randall in Madison. I have this game as 38-13 in favor of Wisconsin, well under the 57 points. My second college football pick for this week concerns the Clemson versus Georgia showdown on Saturday at noon. What is my best bet for this game? Let's find out. The Clemson Tigers are getting their season started against Georgia in Atlanta, which may equate to a home crowd for the Dogs. And I expect nothing less for them to fight like cats and dogs. When these two faced off a few years ago, it was a 10-3 affair. That game featured stellar defense and suspect offense that saw Georgia prevail on a defensive score. I think this year looks to be more of the same, so I am on the first half under 24.5 points. Clemson quarterback Cade Klubnik has been anything but reliable. As we mentioned in the win totals video, there's still time to check that out and get in on our remaining 20 preseason bets. See the link below for these guaranteed bets. As we mentioned, Clemson will struggle to find its effectiveness. I don't think having an opponent that is one of the best historical defenses is a great place to start. Clemson has plenty of talent, but the last few seasons, it just has not blossomed into enough results yet. I think inconsistency and poor decision-making will make it a long day for Klubnik against this 5-star Georgia defense. On the other side, Heisman frontrunner Carson Beck will return for the Bulldogs. However, his two favorite targets have taken their talents to the NFL. As a result, he will have to find his way with a less experienced cast of characters around him. There will definitely be some growing pains in the early going. While Clemson's offense is as goofy as their head coach, their defense is not. The Tigers have an exceptional amount of talent on their defensive side of the ball. So, good defense versus good defense. Heavyweight defense versus heavyweight defense. I suspect this will be a battle of field position, and thus a low-scoring game. I do like the full game under at 48.5 points, but I am counting on a slow, tentative start for both teams, and I like the first half under 24.5 points. I also expect Klubnik to make the deadly mistake at some point that will lead to a Georgia victory. I have this game playing out as a Bulldog victory, 24-10. It's now time for a premium pick, which also turns out to be my third pick of the upcoming weekend. The play in question involves the Florida International versus Indiana matchup. The game is set to start at 3:30 p.m. on Saturday. Curt Cignetti begins his reign at Indiana on Saturday. He brought some of his best players with him from James Madison, where he's proved he can win. I think his biggest challenge for the year is keeping this transfer-heavy roster together when things don't work out like they hope. However, in this game, I think Cignetti will come out firing. Because of his familiarity with key offensive players, I like IU to go down the field at the beginning and take control of the game early. Therefore, I like Indiana minus 6.5 points in the first quarter against FIU. I don't think Florida International will be able to compete in this game, hence the line being set at over 3 touchdowns. The key will be their first drive. If Indiana's improved defense can stop FIU's quarterback, Keon Jenkins, in the first time out of the gate, that would be perfect. FIU failed to score on the opening drive in 10 of its 12 games, and one of those was a 70-yard breakout. Jenkins seemingly does have at least one explosive play a game, you just need Indiana to shut it down once. Another interesting prospect on this game would be an anytime score by wide receiver Elijah Surratt. You might find that around plus 450 odds, worth putting a partial unit on that for fun. This 1,000-yard receiver that transferred in with his coach from JMU is primed to be the number one target. The junior has already reached the end zone 21 times in his 2 years. I would not be surprised to see him do it again Saturday. As you know, I like to shop around different books. Pinnacle, the book I think is the sharpest, has this line at a lot better price than others. I got this Indiana first quarter line at minus 118, as you can see on your screen right now. I like the bet at a higher price too, but why pay more if you don't have to? If you don't currently use a couple of different books, you should. It's always great advice to shop around to get the best price for yourself. During football season, lines tend to change day to day. It's often best to get a line early in the week to get a better number. If you like betting on NCAA football, You don't want to miss out the video I made presenting some great value wagers on future bets. More precisely, will Clemson record over or under 9.5 wins? Will Oklahoma get over or under 7.5 wins? To get those answers, simply click the little card appearing in the bottom left corner of your screen right now. This is your last chance to get access to more than 20 lucrative college football bets.